Welcome back to the Cavecast, everybody, the uncensored show for nerds of all kinds. And you may notice that it looks very different tonight.
Deal with it.
Very different. Yes. Yeah. Maybe some things happened. Maybe we're prepping for something really good to come your way.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. There is a different setup tonight. This is actually the Riker Road setup, which is Eric's channel that he does with gaming. We've played Resident Evil 8. We're almost done with Sonic. We beat Doom. We're moving on to Quake. We're actually recording Quake after we get done with this. So if you want to check out all the crazy antics that happens on that channel, definitely go to the link below and click it, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It's just a ball of fun. We're just
Watch us scream like idiots.
Play video games. That's all that it is. I still think Resident Evil 8s are my favorite.
It definitely
that
was the baby episode.
Yeah, that was before we knew what it would grow into, which was the channel it is. But no, so definitely check that out. But we're not quite done with figuring out the new setup yet. But it's
coming. Yep.
This is something that we have talked about many times, that we were like, we're going to post a review about this, and we're going to 100% try to give our 2 cents into this, because
we got to. I mean, we got it.
It's Halloween, man. Like, it's like this is a big deal. Michael Myers, man. Like, they're wanting to do something new and ballsy, and so it's like I really wanted to see what was going to happen. So, just so you guys understand how the whole review is going to work, is that, as you can see, where is it? Getting used to all of these things. This thing right here.
There we go.
When that is in color, we are not talking about spoilers. But if it's black and white, we are moving into spoiler territory. We're going to do this.
Everybody lives.
Yeah, everybody lives.
Not one death scene.
It was a really great family film. The teddy bear was a really big shocker for me, but there is a teddy bear, sort of. We're just going to give you our general thoughts of what we thought about it, and not get too in-depth yet. But once you see that black and white pop up on that poster,
back the fuck out if you're
scrubbing, and if you're looking, if you see that, you know to stay away. But we're going to give you plenty of time before we jump into it. This is going to run very much like the Cavecast. There's not going to be edits. We're just going to talk like it's a normal podcast episode, so keep that in mind. But if you're a new-time viewer, we really appreciate you taking your time to come check everything out, and we would encourage you to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. That way you never miss an upload, especially the new stuff that we are going to be doing later this month. Now,
got something in my eyeball.
Stop that.
Stop that.
So, okay, Halloween Kills. My question for you is, since this movie removes everything from canon that has ever been done in film, of all the films that took place after the first Halloween 2018 came out, I was decently pleased with everything. I thought it did a very good job of, kind of doing some things on its head a little bit, where it was just like, nah, man, this is not what would have happened to Laurie. This is this. So with that being said, what was your expectations going into Halloween Kills? Like, what were you either wanting or what were you thinking was going to happen, or like, just just whatever it is, whatever your preconceived notion was, what were your thoughts of this film?
So going into it, I mean, honestly, I felt like this was gonna be, because the name Halloween Kills, I mean, that's pretty much a dead okay.
Yeah.
So you don't really know, like, that could go several different ways. Like, this could be the last one, this could be the whatever, but so going into it, I didn't know what to expect when it came to that. I banked on the fact that this was going to be a better sequel, if you will, than a lot of the other franchises do and go through. I also expected it to be really gory.
Yeah.
I know that it's, like torture porn and, stuff like that. Like it can be very, it can be very like a fine line.
Yeah.
Between like a Saw movie and then like a slasher film.
Right.
So I knew we were going to get a lot of just like brutality. The scene kind of at the beginning where there's, I don't know if you want to consider that a spoiler, but
I mean, it's in the trailer. So if you've seen the trailer, then you know how it begins. But
that scene alone just the way it was shot, like through some of the like goggles.
Oh
and,
God, it was
and
incredible.
then like even when they were like dead, but you could still see from like their point of view, it gave a it gave a different like vibe on. Yeah, you didn't get to see some of those like close up kills through that angle, but it was almost because you're like, okay, well either I'm next or he's gonna finish me or like whatever, or you know, like I'm just dying and watching everybody. So there was a lot of like that to it. That was probably one of the best scenes for me.
I think that if somebody would have released that house fire scene alone as a short film, it would have been like not knowing any of the context. You just know that it's like the synopsis is that a bunch of firefighters show up to a house to put out a fire, but Michael's inside. And it's like, that scene was brutal.
It was
watch. Like it was horrible because it's like they're just there to save people, and like Michael's like, "Nah, you're in my way," and it's just
that was the cool thing about it too, where you could almost see that it was cool because they knew who the fuck he was.
Yeah, that's why they all prep and they're just like
they were because like Ashley was saying, she's like, not one of them has a gun.
Yeah, because they're firefighters.
They're firefighters.
Yeah.
There was only like 2 people that had a leg up with like the axe and then the concrete saw.
Yeah.
Even at that, they didn't have a chance.
No.
But it was the fact that you could see them like gear up, like, we can do this. Mm-hmm. There's 15 of us.
And by the way, they're not like small dudes. Like these are firefighters. They are well-built firefighters.
The only thing that upsets me with scenes like that, and I know we've talked about, you talked about like the contract and stuff with actual, you know, the movies and stuff, but it's like, come on, man, in real life, okay, he might have taken a few of us out, but there's no way that a concrete saw, axes, some hammers, and fire hoses that we can't lose 2 dudes and then the rest of us gang up on him and cut his fucking head off.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
That is the only thing that I guess you could say irritates me about that, but it's plot armor.
Right.
You've got to have that. But still, that scene alone was probably one of the greatest scenes I've seen in a long time when it comes to like a slasher.
Yeah.
So that gave me high expectations because that was kind of right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And
because the film definitely does not start where you think it's going to.
No, and
I liked it. I liked that a lot. It was kind of like we won't spoil it. We'll get into it because even just what's happening in the first couple of frames in this movie, it's kind of like end game level of like spoiler of like, bro, like this is like it's like we're seeing this and this happen, you know. But anyway, so
So I mean, I guess to wrap up that actual question was, I had high hopes. Mm-hmm. I think every movie has its weak points, no matter how good of a writer, director, how much money you have. Like, usually there's something you're like, I mean, that looked like shit, or like this, that, you know, you get nitpicky.
Yeah.
I had high expectation, and I really wasn't, for the most part, let down. Yeah, there was we'll talk in a minute.
Get into it.
So I guess obviously same question.
When you know what John Carpenter said about how pleased he was as the direction they were going, and what they were finally going to do with Michael or reiterate with him, I went into this and kind of went, all right, if you're going to impress him that much and he's the one that made it,
you better impress the rest.
You need to impress me, man, because you cannot fall short. Like, this is such a iconic and dearly beloved thing that it's one of those where we almost don't even know what it's like to live in a world without Michael Myers. And
I could agree.
And that to me, like, I went into this film with a lot of expectations of, like, I didn't have specific things, but I definitely was just like, it better be good. You guys, no matter what you do, you better execute it properly.
There was other good, like, sequels or like the remakes, because again, we all took those for what they were, even when they were good bad or bad bad. Like
Right.
it was they're horror slasher films. That's what they are. Like that's all they are.
Yeah.
Unless you just start getting really, really bad acting and really bad prosthetics and stuff, it's all gonna be the same kind of thing.
Right.
I agree when you say I don't know the world without Michael Myers. I watch almost all horror movies as far as like a franchise or remakes or whatever, but I think you're right. I find myself watching Halloweens
Yeah.
a more often.
Even the bad ones where you're like, it's nostalgic. It's cool. Like it's something to remember.
I still throw on because I kind of feel bad that like I haven't kept up with my horror movies lately.
Right.
But you still throw them on for the background. And I can't just spit lines front and back from all these movies, but I know what they are. I know the bit because there's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many that you watch them because even like Ashley was saying like, I thought it, and we're like, no, that was the Rob Zombie one, and she's like, are you sure? Like,
trust me, that movie emotionally scarred me. Trust me, that's that film. Like, yeah.
So it's understandable, but
yeah, that's because I even found myself with a scene in particular. I was just like, wait, how did? That's right.
Yeah.
Nothing happened after Halloween, except for 2018.
Right.
So it's like, okay.
So
like, it allowed them to
really open up,
take use of a lot of different elements we've never seen done in a Halloween film before.
Yeah.
And it was cool. So yeah.
I think going back to your thing about not knowing a world without Michael Myers, that is very true. You could say that with everything else, but Michael Myers, we actually did figure this out last night. We thought Halloween was considered the first slasher film. It was not.
Yeah.
It's technically Psycho and like Black Christmas.
Yeah.
And then or vice versa. So it was close. This is one of the originators, and I guess you could say obviously you've got the Freddy and Jason. So they were like the gateway for I feel like the Chuckies, the Hellraisers, that was more of like that, like just torture violence, but still.
Right.
It's what made all of these things. I mean, 1978, and you've got Michael fucking Myers.
Yeah.
Bro, that's huge. That's scary as fuck. That's still scary as fuck now.
I even saw something the other day that it wasn't anywhere near us, but it was in the state, and it said a fugitive had escaped. And I remember reading that, and it was days before we watched Halloween Kills. And you kind of see people in this situation of hearing about Michael getting out, and they have this mentality of just like, whatever, they're going to get him, like, or like they've already got him, or like it's just like, I'm going to just go to my car in the parking lot, kind of a thing. And it's like, no, dude, Michael Myers is loose.
Yeah.
Like this is a problem. Like this is not something to really think about. Now, in my opinion, I feel that kind of apprehension to, take it seriously for certain characters made sense, because it was just like, dude, like he's been locked up for 40 years, man. Like, it's like, he hasn't made any problems since that night. It was a bad Halloween night.
Yeah.
And that's what I had to keep remembering, was that this is what the lens of what these characters are looking through. Not all of them are that, apprehensive, or like, they're like, nah, dude, we're killing this guy. Cause that's the next element of this film that I think that really does a great job, is that it's, we watched Chris Stuckman review it, and he's like, the people of Haddonfield have fucking had it. Like they're tired of this shit.
Yeah.
Like, this was already horrible when it happened back then. Now, when they realize it's happening again, it's like, we're taking this into our hands.
I think that's what made it so, real.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like this cowering city, or that everybody just stayed in their homes, or it really was kind of like, no, fuck this guy.
Yeah. It's like, he can't fight 30 of us. It's like, it's just, that's what they're thinking, is that it's like, like that whole strength in numbers kind of a thing. But
wait till the spoilers. But it's
Yeah.
but so that was a weird like kind of a refreshing spot with that whole like just the city just being like you said, like fucking like just sick of his shit.
Now, what I will say was that while I thought that arc is a very good idea, I felt like at one point, I don't know if you agree with this, but I felt like it was almost one of the weaker points of the film.
It was.
And I was really let down with that. I was like, nah, dude, like I wanted to see, but clearly more things happen than just this particular,
right,
character arc of all these characters. But it was one of those where I was like, okay, cool. Like, dude, like get back to Michael. Like, it's like, it was kind of weird. Like, I don't know. I don't think it destroys the film. It was just kind of like, if everything was a 90%, this was like a solid 75. It's still above 50. Like it was,
I feel like the actual story was solid.
Yeah.
The way that certain characters were played or portrayed or in or not in was good. I think it was balanced very well on the characters that we're focused on, and we'll get into spoilers here in a second because there's obviously some more info that
spoiler free is about to end here soon in a second here because we gotta get deep into some things. But yeah,
I just as a whole, guys, this is I agree with, was it Chris or whoever that doesn't give a rating?
Oh, it's Paul Zigo from Deep Fat Fried. He doesn't give stars or anything. He just says he either does you should watch it or not watch it.
So if you guys are not watching past spoilers, this is a 100% watch.
Yeah, I agree. I experience it once.
At least.
Yeah.
Experience it once. You can even, like we did, experience it in the comfort of your own home. There's a great way to get it on home. So
yeah,
you can look that up. We're not going to say any names because I don't want to copyright anything. But
yeah.
But no, honestly, guys, if you're not getting past the spoilers, I 100% agree. It's a watch.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's the same.
Yeah, I think that especially with all the guys that we're connected to, in our group chat, that we're all horror fans with everything, and I'm very curious to see what they think. Some of them have not seen it yet, and because what I do know about this film is that it is very divisive. But anyone that does not like this film, I think that the last non-spoiler thing I'm going to say is that the proof is in the pudding right here on this poster. Halloween Kills. This has the highest body count of any Michael Myers movie I think that I've ever seen. It is not. There's like 2 or 3 kills that I have still not stopped thinking about because it was just like especially the horrible one near the end where you're just like, oh my god, like this film pulls no punches, and it really does a great job without it being too convoluted of that nobody is safe. You need to go about this properly. And is there even a way to, and it's so crazy. So yeah,
it's definitely spoiler time then, because there's so much to trying to say. Go. So yes,
we are now going in.
Get the fuck out.
To spoilers. The poster is black and white. We are in spoilers. It is spoiler time. 5, 4,
spoiler,
3, 2, 1. If you're still
spoiler,
here
then it's your
and
own
you don't want to
fault.
know what happens, then you need to get out because we've given you plenty of time.
Spoilers.
Okay, let's talk about how this film starts out. We get to see the way that Michael Myers was arrested. And that really was really cool. The fact that when the cops are seeing him, the one I think Frank was his name. The one that it's the younger version of him, and then you obviously see both ends of the spectrum. But seeing how he interacted with Michael Myers, because that's what this film does very well, is that it plays the what if game to such a great degree because it relies nothing but on the source material. So the beginning of the film was awesome.
When they took us back for a brief moment, I went, "You got to be fucking kidding me. This is the original." Guys, they do a really good job
It is
at making it.
phenomenal. It is incredible.
I think that was one of Mom's favorite like parts, just the sheer like nostalgia and look, because it was right up. We all we're like, oh my god, it's the original font. It's this, the color, like it. They even like tried to make it look faded.
It's what's so interesting was that the way that I told Mom was that while people will hate something, you know, it's like they don't like where the story went, or they don't like, you know, how characters were handled or anything to that effect. This film looks fantastic. It looks like everything, every weapon, every flame, every heat, every kill, every single thing is so brutal. And it is, in my opinion, what Michael Myers should be. I think it's like Rob Zombie kind of got that.
I was just about to say that.
Oh God, it blows it out of the water. Like, it's incredible.
It's got that Rob Zombie violence as far as like, okay.
Like, he didn't just kill your ass, he killed your ass. Like,
He killed you. And there was a couple scenes that were very, very good at the coming back to, I believe it was the first one. Yes. The old man and the old man and the like, babysitter or whatever, she, or like the in-home nurse with they were flying the,
yeah. That was a good, like, before Michael even shows up in that scene, like, I liked them.
I know. I was like, they're gonna die.
It wasn't even done in the way of like, it was laying it on too thick. It was that she's playing with this drone in the kitchen and she's doing tricks, and she was really good. She
like, was baller at it.
And how he just came over and like, they covered so much history with them in 4 seconds.
Yep.
And that's kind of what these kills do in this movie, is that if you're into these characters, you're not going to want to see them get killed. And to me, like, that's what was so, and it's not just the fact that they're killed, it's the way that they're killed.
Yeah.
It's not quick.
Well,
it's horrible.
That scene, I noticed something. I didn't say anything. It was subtle. When, first of all, he just grabs the bulb and was like, all right, bitch, you got a knife? I'm not even close to a knife. I could get there if I really want to. Grabs the bulb and just looks at her, smashes the motherfucker so it's got a sharp end, and just walks straight up to her and slides it in her neck. Then the old man, when he had him like bent over the counter, and he just kept grabbing a knife and stabbing it in his back. After the first one, Michael leaned back and did the head tilt and looked at him for a second, and then went,
nope, another one,
and another one, and told they were gone, and then he wanted the one.
Yeah.
So he stabbed him like 5 times with machete or with kitchen knives. But after the first one, because it was, I don't know if it was the first kill in Halloween, but I swear it was the original. That's where they were saying that it like kind of humanized him when I swear he was like stabbing somebody to the wall, and
it was the boyfriend with the glasses and the ghost, the sheet.
Yeah,
he went down to go get beer after they had sex, and he picked him up and planted him into the wall with the butcher's knife.
And the way he like tilted his head, that wasn't supposed to happen, but it was creepy as shit.
Yeah.
Funny enough, with it being the same guy playing him, he did it again.
Yeah.
I caught it, and I was like, oh, that was good. So that was awesome.
Even the way the practical blood like pulled into the tube that was in her neck, like, it was just like, the violence in this movie is real. Like, it's as real as it can be portrayed.
The like, pull out with the knife was really not, that was a solid look. Whether it was CGI or not, don't care. That was flawless.
Yeah.
So that scene was really cool. So going back into more of these spoilers, like you said, about people dying, people that you like. What No, we've got other. Let's talk about. I was gonna say let's get to the end, but no. What else you got?
Okay. So the majority of this film is very much Michael just leaving the blood trail leading to his house. And what's so interesting is that number one, they did bring back everybody that they could. Even the deep fake they did on Dr. Loomis. Like for that scene, like that, it made me like jolt up. I'm like, it's Dr. Loomis.
That was really
looks
incredible.
so good. Like it's
Star Wars, you fucked up.
It's
this
what
looked
Disney
way better.
wanted to do. Like because it looked like it was a mixture of prosthetics and they did some slight CG enhancing to like do some things. But what's so brilliant is that was technically composited like older footage, so it probably was. I'm not saying like that somebody could have worked 3 months on that shot alone, so I don't want to say it was like easy or anything.
Yeah.
But I imagine it was probably easier to composite and make it like just fit with everything. And even if it wasn't, good for them, dude. They fucking nailed it.
They did.
It
That
was so good.
That was such a nice, like visual. Like
It did not take me out of it.
No, it didn't, because obviously we knew it wasn't him. Like we obviously knew that, because I was like, whoa.
Is Pleasance back from the dead? Like, what's going on?
Because I was waiting for it to be, but I was like, well, no, they can't, because it's actually new characters. I'm like, was this old original footage? Dude, I was like, no, there's the new characters.
We're not kidding, guys. The footage in this film, like there's a couple of times when I was watching, even the original design of Michael is spot on. Everything,
Yes.
it doesn't, because there's a difference between all of the masks in all the movies for different reasons. Like my least favorite is H2O because the eye holes are too big. The movie I love, but I'm not a fan of the mask.
Right.
But this film does an incredible job of keeping continuity from the original mask. Everything again is from the source material. And again, well, going back to like the source material stuff, is the idea that the people that are back in this film are like I'm trying to think, like Tommy, the one boy that survived through everything, and then you said that you got the names down. Was it Allison?
Yeah, Allison was the granddaughter.
Yes. Yeah.
And then Karen was the daughter. It's sorry guys, we don't know.
There was so much to digest in this film because, again, unfortunately, not all of these old characters come out, and again, their kills are brutal. Like it's just, especially the nurse, like oh god, it's horrible.
Oh, that one was wicked.
It was like the fact that she thought she had a bullet left and got close to him, pulled the trigger, and there was nothing. And then she immediately just went into like, I'm a 3-year-old terrified, and started backing into the car, and he just fucking stabs her to ribbons. And you're like, she's gone.
Yep.
Okay. Like, fuck. Like it was like, this film has balls. Like it has a lot of balls with what it did.
So
it's awesome.
Let's touch on this real quick. Bigger names. At least three of these actors were major actors. You have Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah.
You have Jamie Lee Curtis, and then Karen is a pretty big, but I had no issues with her. And then Will, or what the hell was his name? The cop.
Oh yeah, if he's one of those, like he's that guy.
Yeah.
Like I know him. Yeah.
Again, he was not a problem. Oh, because he was in Armageddon.
Yeah. He played Chick.
Yeah. There, guys. One of my issues I had with this movie, there were a couple of flat spots, I guess you could say, in the acting from the major characters.
Yeah, even Lori, like I wasn't completely in with her. Like a part of me was like, I'm like, Jamie, you're good at this, man. Like,
what is happening?
So again, I think the question I asked you is that the actor or is that the script? And that's I can't tell. Like,
here's my problem: is it the script? Because look at the rest of the script. Like,
rest of the script is fine. So yeah.
I fear it's not the script. And that's where I was like, come on. And guys, Lori's not really in it.
No, and this is what I will say.
Not like she's not, but that's not. So for her to have a couple bad acting spots were kind of crucial.
It takes up the majority of her time on camera. Like she kind of has, like, I don't know, like I don't want to say this and like put a caliber to it that it's not, but like it kind of reminded me of Beetlejuice, where it's like Michael Keaton's only in the movie for like 12 minutes total.
Yeah.
And it's like, so they spaced it out in that film to make it work to where like, well, no, he didn't need to be until the end.
Correct.
And it was but even this film doesn't do that because she doesn't even make it out of the hospital.
So I
don't think that people are saying she was sidelined, and it's one of the reasons why they didn't like the movie.
No,
it's like, no, dude, it's part 2 out of 3. Okay. Like there's
so
more.
Yes, that's what we're going to talk about. Is going to be another one. So that being said, was even Anthony Michael Hall with the evil dies tonight.
Yeah. Evil dies tonight.
It was just
evil dies.
I was like, oh my God.
Because on top of that too, is that cringe-worthy thing that you're seeing in that aspect is surrounded by the part in the plot that fell flat, and it's this other mental patient that got loose, and you're just like, okay, like it's like dude, like I get it to an extent because it's what got them fired up because they thought it was Michael.
Yeah.
So it's like
sideline, like
it's like a C plot. It's not even a B plot to everything, and I feel like that mob deserved more than a C plot, but in the same hand, with how everything does end up, I was kind of like I forgot about that completely, and I went, all right.
So
let's
go. Let's talk about the mob here then. So
yeah.
All right, the scene was pretty wicked. There's a really cool scene where said patient just it's coming, all this stuff. He knows it. Oddly enough, there was some like weird, like you could feel for the person. So could Karen, and even
she finds him and is like, I'm gonna help you because I know you're not Michael. They're gonna kill you, kind of a thing. Yeah,
and they all figure it out. Well, the main characters, but the mob doesn't know, and this dude like knows
it's over.
And I think he just accepted what he needed to do, and he jumps off the building. Dude, that was fucking brutal.
One of the more brutal things of the film wasn't even a Michael Myers kill, but it's the violence in this movie, the gore. Like it's not just he just hits the ground and splats like a balloon. It's worse. Like and he's like still alive. Like it's ugh.
So then fast forward to said rest of mob.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, this was another pretty wicked scene.
I want to rewatch it again, like on YouTube. Like it's one of those things where I'm like, again, that could have been a short film thing alone, and I would have been, pleased. It was cool.
It's like right towards the end, and where, obviously, just like any other story, it's people are separated, blah blah blah. Karen, they get him. They get him.
It's done brilliantly because it was the idea that Karen was saving her daughter, because that's if you've seen the trailer, it's when she's about to be stabbed by him and she looks at him and just says, "Do it." And it was like, it kind of like, I don't want to think of like it made him stop, but I think it was kind of him being like, what? Like nobody's wanted this, so far.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, it was like a hair of a second that gave Karen the advantage to stab him in the back with the pitchfork. And we talked about,
oh my God, I was
the
like,
entire film. They kept focusing on it. And like, I think that you even said, was it you or was it Ashley or Mom? I can't remember who said it, but they were like, if that thing does not get used,
I'm writing the president. The fucking rewrite this and then read. No, so
she gets the upper hand.
She gets the upper. That's right. So
mask.
then, so she takes his mask. Now, real quick, before we get back into it, is I will agree on something. Ashley pointed out and my mom did too. There was a scene in the trailer, and we saw it, that it does look like the mask is like melted to his face. It is like Ashley said, like he is this now.
Again, I didn't take it that way, but when I started thinking about it when she said that, I was, because I've had more time to chew on it, and I'm like, that would have been wicked.
Yeah.
Like that's like it adds a whole another creep to it, you know. It's just,
when they do kind of fuck with his mask towards the beginning and you kind of see him, I get what she meant. She was like, man, they really shouldn't have done that. That would have been more of a, like, you know, like maybe the last movie.
It almost seems like what they were trying to do there was a finale move, and
Yes.
the fact that it's not, that's where I'm like, what the hell is next?
So then later,
You know, yeah.
yes, Karen gets the actual mask, guys, and she lures them out into the streets, and it is the kind of like main character group mob.
Yeah.
And she stabs him in the back, and
After they beat the fuck out of him.
Yes.
Like it's like all of them have bats and clubs and 2x4s and or I don't want to say knives, but like everybody came after him, and like it was such an interesting thing because there is a good minute and a half or so when he's going after Karen, he don't have his mask.
Right.
And it was so weird. It was
you
like
can
it was
see
just,
him
they
finally.
they did such a great, he's still the shape. You can't see anything, but you do.
It's real. It's the closest you ever like really get.
You do see the burns on his face from
And the
from
eye,
everything.
the foggy eye and stuff. But yeah,
But he just sees all of them coming. The mask is in the middle of the road to lure him, and he puts it on and takes the beating of a lifetime and gets right the fuck back up.
so yes, she stabs him, and I was like, that wasn't a really good spot.
Yeah.
But I think the fact of that she figured he's so wounded,
Yeah.
they can finish this.
This is my last, like,
they
little-
tell her like, you know, leave. You know, we've got this. Well, dudettes, he gets up, and like we talked about, where it's like he can't take on an angry mob. He like becomes Blade.
First and foremost, while he's on the ground, reaches behind him, does not pull the knife out gently or in a way that's following the path it went in.
He just yanks
rips
and
it
starts
out
going.
of his back, and I think the first thing we see is like a full neck cut that happens of the guy that was next to him, and it's this chain reaction of just like
Everybody
Michael
starts to come in, and
he's in
is
full control. Like it is.
Another thing that made it great about these, especially with the mask and this scene, where this is where it was really cool and intense. This was like a weird, not martial arts, but he was so quick.
Yeah,
he was like, he had great reaction time because people are coming at him from all directions.
It's like 3-on-1,
and
like
he
it's
is fucking them up.
And it's like, I think there was like even a couple of like I've watched it once, but like I remember the kills, like a few of them were like maybe a stab through the abdomen or thing, but like even those kills were brutal. Like he's like, you know, hacking at some guy's neck till his head comes off, or like whatever. I can't, like, that's the only thing I can like articulate it to. Like it's so
the way it was done with the, just like I said, the quickness. That was the sharpest I think I've ever seen Michael Myers, like as far as like, because again, he doesn't always have like a huge mob after him. That was kind of cool and refreshing.
They did kind of do that in Curse of Michael Myers, where like there was like the little like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like the redneck militia that like they were all good dudes that were like, no, we're tired of this. Like,
and
we're taking, you know,
again, Ashley made another point. It would have not. You guys didn't have guns.
Yeah, that's.
She's right. Like, at least one scene, have a motherfucker hit a button and a couple AR-15s come out.
Right.
Like, make it some kind of fun.
I think that the idea of guns is that like maybe there's a mentality of like, well, Loomis shot him 6 times and it did nothing. Maybe we just need to like beat the hell out of him, or
it's just the fact of
make
like
him unable to walk or I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but
and so
clearly they were not done. Like they were going to go in for more.
I agreed with her on that, but again, understanding the quote plot armor, that's what makes it interesting. That's where he's almost got a even playing field, because he don't have a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, neither does any other like villain. But
interestingly enough, is that I actually rewatched a scene. I think it was from Halloween 4. It's either 4 or 5. But one of his victims has a shotgun pointed at him, and Michael takes it and kind of just moves it out of the way and takes it into his own hands. And your first thought is like, oh, like he's going to shoot him. And he uses it to beat him with, or stabs a girl with a shotgun.
That's the thing, is he wants brutality.
Yeah, like he doesn't like I think that
guns are too quick, like kind of like the Joker.
Yeah.
They're too quick. You don't get to savor that beating, that sound, or whatever it might be. So, speaking of brutality,
let's finish off with our favorite kills or kills that disturbed us, because I think that's probably the route that you're probably going. And then ultimately the final ending and what this is going to lead into for Halloween Ends. So as far as your favorite or disturbing, or like what's a kill that stuck out to you, or what's something that like you have not gotten out of your head?
I think it would be just the whole firefighter scene and the mob. Yeah. I really think that again, the patient was definitely up there, but I think that's kind of, again, that wasn't Michael.
Right.
So I think that's unfair to put that in that.
As far as a kill in its own, or I mean, more
a
death. Yeah. It's solid. It's awesome. But yeah, a Michael kill. Yeah.
Actually, no. If I have to say like one in particular,
I'm very curious to see which one it is.
The slutty nurse when he smacked her with the door handle or the door. And
oh God, I totally forgot
her.
See, like, and that's.
I was like, oh shit!
Because it was. You could say that it was an accident, which I don't think that Michael knew that was going to kill her. It was just he just did it out of instinct of like, nah, bitch, you ain't getting in here.
But see, that was the thing too. He, like I said,
just,
he had a different approach on how he went at people. He didn't run still, but again, that whole like kicking the door out, like you never really saw him do that.
No,
he had like other tactic that he never really did before in films. I feel like, and that was one of them. No, I don't think he thought it was going to kill her, but like you said, he's like, well, you ain't shooting me, bitch.
Right.
Like,
I think like he even kind of had that moment of like, oh shit, it worked. Like he just like, I couldn't do that again if I tried. Like it just like so. But yeah,
he probably went home and was like, score. Like,
applause break number 2.
So yeah. I think that one, and like if I had to say one in particular, yes, that one. So yes. What about yours?
The kill that has not left me since I've watched the movie, which I mean has been a full 24 hours. I mean at this point, but that staircase kill was horrible, and it was to a character that you like. They didn't have to force you to like this character, like like because it's one of the friends of Karen's daughters. He's made some mistakes, like they kind of liked each other or were together.
Yeah,
so
they were together.
It's been a while since I've seen 2018, but that's near the beginning of the film as we get to see the scene of him running over to the cop that was stabbed by the new Dr. Loomis. And like, cause like any other person probably would have ran away or would have been scared. Like, no, like he went in to help him and was like, officer, talk to me. Are you okay? Like, what happened? Like, and like, he's trying to like get out his cell phone and call and, and he's panicking. So it's like, like his heart is in the right place. And like, he's just this poor kid that left a Halloween party dressed in this, dress where like it is taking like every like aspect of like, it's something like weird and like he's just like throws a jacket over it. And like, it's the idea like he is in such a different normality. Yeah. And he is pushing through and being like, we're going to take care of this. And
everything goes out the window at that point. Like, it doesn't matter.
He just, dude, like the fact that Michael has him between the banister posts on the top of the stairwell and
slamming
into the floor, into the top beam, into the left and into the right. And you're hearing his neck break, but he's not dead. And he drops him, walks down the steps, and just grabs his head and 180s it.
Yeah.
And it's like, like he's still alive. Like, and it was just
right. that one was really good.
The fact that this movie, like, that's just one of the many different kills that happen in this film. Like, we could do an entire video on just kills alone in this movie and talk about him. The only weak point of prosthetics was the eye gouging. We talked about that. Like, it was
little bit of a weird head, but
yeah. But I mean, because I think I said that it was the eye gouging that Frank Castle does in The Punisher, which is the Netflix series. That prosthetic or whatever they did looked better.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I applaud them that they didn't cut away. They wanted to show what was happening in that moment. It's a awesome scene with the gay couple that lives in Michael Myers' house, which is, it's, to me, like, it was kind of too perfect. Like, it was just like,
it really
they've redecorated everything. The house looks wonderful.
Yeah, of course it does.
And just, it was the fact that even the one understood, like, before when he realizes his partner's been killed, and he's just like, Michael, like, he knows what's happening. And it was just, this film did a very good job of making these characters honest when the acting worked. And I think that overall, this is definitely a Halloween film for me that I think that I will probably watch again, or I will definitely I could see it being one of those things where it's like, number one, the normal Halloween, that's a given, you know, it's a classic.
Of course.
2018, I think, is kind of more like a thrill ride. This one is, in my opinion, as much of a thrill ride that it is, this is just of like, we just get to watch Michael show off in this movie, and it's incredible.
The fact that the ending is it sucks, but it's a perfect lead into what I'm pretty sure that they were going for. I mean, you know,
Halloween ends.
Yep. I mean, you know, so obviously we're at the spoilers, but Karen is standing in his spot.
Yeah, they made a big deal about how he would always stand in his room at this particular spot and stare out the window at all times. And
you know, she's standing in a spot, and you're just like, oh, okay, whatever. And he, out of like, he's just like, bitch, you're in my spot.
Yeah,
and that's exactly. He fucking kills her.
Stabs her to death,
and then just like tosses her to the side, and then stands in a spot. And that's where I'm pretty sure this whole Halloween ends, is going to be Laurie killing him because he killed her daughter.
I had a thought the second that the film ended. And this is what I'm expecting from Halloween Ends, is that with this so far solid trilogy, in my opinion, that has been done so far, is that if you remember from history class, when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor and everything was said and done, and America was like, nah, man, we're coming after you, kind of a thing, the leader said something very interesting. Leader of Japan, or whoever this particular person was, they said, I fear that all we have done is awoken a sleeping giant.
Yeah.
And dude, like, this is, Laurie was already ready to get and run out of that hospital when she heard he was still alive.
Yeah.
You killed her daughter.
Yeah.
There's dude, hell hath no fucking fury, dude. Like, I'm very interested.
That's why I feel like, guys, she wasn't in this one as much.
Yeah.
Because that was the whole point. She needed that kind of like, well, she couldn't be there. Now I wasn't there. All this stuff. Now, who's to say he didn't like slit her throat or anything? So, I mean, she could pull through. Weirder things have happened.
The last thing we do see of her is that, I mean, her eyes are open and she's in a pool of blood. So I personally think she's dead. But again, who knows what they're going to do? I mean,
yeah.
We've got from now until 2022 when it comes out to know what happens, or to see what they're going to do.
Guys,
but
this was solid. The atmosphere that it brings, I feel like we both agree on that it was fantastic.
Yeah.
The fact that, you know, maybe she is dead for real wasn't, it didn't upset me. I mean, it does, but it's understandable if they're going to go certain routes. So
yeah,
I again, watching this at the end, still a solid, like, I give it, you know, must watch at least once.
Yeah.
And
this is something where I think that you just need to make up your own opinion. Like, yeah, I mean, because it is such a divisive, iconic,
I don't think there's
amazing
anything
thing.
to complain about other than there is some bad acting from major actors. And sorry, Jamie Lee Curtis and Michael C. Hall, if you guys for some fucked up reason see this, but
Or Michael Anthony Hall.
yeah, Jesus,
Michael C. I mean, hey,
Michael C. Hall is Dexter.
It's all good.
No, guys, like it's not a slight. I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just it fell again. If you guys were going that route, I apologize. For that kind of vibe, but
Yeah.
that was it. That was really my honest like concern.
Yeah.
But other than that, solid watch, guys.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Again, this film looks amazing. You could put it on mute and just be aesthetically pleased with this
Yeah.
film. This is wonderful practical effects, wonderful atmosphere, a great callback to the original, and again, proof is in the pudding, dude. The name says it all. Halloween Kills.
He fucking did.
He did exactly what he came to do, and
Boogeyman fucked shit up.
And yeah, I feel like this really definitely instated him back to being he's the boogeyman. It's like this is like when I'm outside on the back deck by myself having a cigarette and I'm thinking to myself, it's like, is Michael around? It's like it kind of sparked that where it's like it's so aesthetically like that now with the trees and everything. It's just like man, I think that's what made viewing this so great was that we really had the perfect night to watch this movie. And regardless, though, is that this has been our thoughts on Halloween Kills. What did you guys think? Did you enjoy the film? Did you not enjoy the film? Tell us why in the comments. We can have a conversation. We love to dive deep into things and understand, like what you guys enjoy. And until next time, make sure that you keep your doors locked and your head beneath your covers. And most importantly, if you see a man in overalls with a white mask, jump out a window and run as fast as you can. You can't fight him.
Yeah, there was several scenes where
die.
people had like 40, 50 solid seconds to get out of a house. So yeah, run, motherfuckers,
Get
run.
out. And until next time, enjoy yourselves, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give Anthony Michael Hall over here some love, and follow Riker Road below, and make sure you check out the gaming channel. It's awesome. So thank you guys for checking us out. We'll talk to you guys later. Adios.
You can't kill Michael.